I think regardless of the outcome of the recent escalation and conflict between the Palestinians and the Israeli occupation forces, there is a reality that cannot be denied, and that is that the Palestinians have inflicted two heavy defeats on Israel that Israel will never be able to recover from. The first is that the Palestinians have successfully broken Israel's monopoly on the narrative and discourse surrounding the Israel-Palestine issue. For the first time, we're now seeing terminology that accurately reflects the reality of the situation. We're seeing words such as apartheid and occupation and colonization being used in the mainstream. We're seeing it being used in Congress. We're seeing it being used increasingly in mainstream media to counter the Israeli arguments. And this is as a result of the fact that this is the first time the war is taking place in which social media is in its prime and in which there is a Palestinian generation that is so comfortable with social media and so attuned that they are able to get their opinions out, to bypass the monopoly of information that Israel has traditionally had, and essentially awaken the public conscience through their retweets, through their reshares, and driven people in droves to the streets to protest against the Israeli aggression. And Israel has been so concerned about this that the Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz met with Facebook and TikTok executives demanding they take pro-Palestine content down. Israel bombed the Al Jazeera and Associated Press offices because it was so upset with the media coverage. And Jerusalem Post wrote an article condemning TRT World and Turkish media because it believes that it is driving and pushing and contributing to this irresistible wave that is breaking Israel's monopoly over information. The second defeat is that the Palestinians have demonstrated that Israel is not invincible. The Iron Dome can be penetrated. Palestinians in the 1948 borders are not content, are not happy with living under oppression and apartheid, and have essentially taken to the streets demanding that they be given their equal rights and demanding that they be given justice. And Israel no longer looks like this moral, powerful army that is so invincible that the Palestinians have no choice but to recognize and accept the oppression and accept the apartheid. These are two victories that cannot be denied. These are two defeats that have been inflicted on Israel, and they have huge repercussions over where we go in terms of this conflict, in terms of the peace process, and in terms of how we talk about the conflict from here on out.